explore the latest trends and issues in the world of e learning. I'm your host, Sandeep, and today we have a special episode on the occasion of International Women's Day. Our theme for today is inclusion, and joining me are three incredible women from the learning and development field. Please welcome Sneha Keshari, Pramati Aadya, and Shipra Shanthy. Thank you all for being here today. Let's start by discussing what inclusion means to each of you, particularly in the context of your workplace.
Thank you, Sandeep, for inviting me. For me, inclusion is like creating an environment where every individual feels valued, respected, and supported uh, with whatever they are doing. And regardless of their background, whatever identity they have, whatever experiences they bring from their past. So, everyone should get a fair chance to contribute their unique talent and perspectives. So, this is what inclusion is for me.
And absolutely, I agree with Sneha. So it's just not about diversity in terms of no demographics, but also it's about diversity of thought. Okay, and the perspectives and the ideas that revolve around it. And inclusive workplaces, make benefit of this kind of diversity to drive more innovation and creativity to the workplace. I think this helps a lot.
So for me, it is mostly about fostering a sense of belonging, where you can bring yourself to work without the fear of being judged or discriminated by your co-employees. So for me, that is inclusivity.
Those are excellent points. Now, let's dive into some practical strategies for promoting inclusion in the workplace. What are some initiatives or programs that organizations can implement to drive this inclusion?
Yeah, so also I would like to take that question up. I have a point. So it's one effective strategy that I can think of right now is it's the unconscious bias training. It helps employees recognize and mitigate their unconscious biases, which can impact the decision making and interaction with colleagues. So you know this idea that with the biasness, oh, she's a woman, I have to treat her like this. She's a man, he's a man, I have to treat him that particular way. So it's an unconscious bias that you need to get inside.
As for me, you can in organizations we can encourage employee resource groups where, the marginalized employees are able to have a platform where they can connect and they can collaborate and they can voice their opinions without any fear. So this can be one of the initiative right now that I can think of.
Yes, exactly. I agree. So I think mentorship programs and sponsorship programs that I always see are very encouraging and they actually foster inclusion. So once you pair employees with mentors, you can provide guidance to them and support to them for whatever they are doing. They can get opportunities to explore further in their career, and this will help them advance to be better in their field.
Those are all fantastic suggestions. Now, let's talk about the role of leadership in promoting inclusion. How can leaders create a culture of inclusivity within their organization?
Uh, Sandeep, it's a
I
really
think
great question. Sorry,
mhm.
Sneha, to cut you off. Would you like
So,
to go?
No, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Uh, so, uh, Sandeep, I guess, according to me, it starts with leading by example. Okay, leaders, according to me, leaders need to demonstrate the inclusive behaviors in their actions, decisions, and also through how they are able to communicate with the other. That's one strategy I can think.
Exactly. Exactly. Absolutely. I totally agree with it. So leaders have a bigger responsibility. So they need to actually prioritize the diversity, the equity and inclusion, and create a welcoming environment. They have to be very welcoming to people because they come from various kinds of backgrounds. Now, once they plan this strategically, and this will really help them in their decision making process further.
Yeah. So, to add to this, I'd like to say that apart from leading by example, leaders should have a good ear. They should be able to, hear the different perspectives, the ideas, and, give opportunities for employees to talk, especially. So, where they feel that, they are welcome to, share their ideas. And, many employees, many women employees, since we are talking about, they don't feel they are heard. They are, so leaders can take a step forward, and they can hear them out and amplify what they're trying to say. So that can be one of the a small baby step for leaders to advocate this kind of a change.
Well said. Now, as we wrap up, what final thoughts or advice do you have for our listeners on promoting inclusion in their workplace?
I think for promoting inclusion, we need to take small steps every single day. So every single day, if we care about what we are doing and how we are respecting the diversity, how we are taking care of the equity, inclusion, then the changes will start happening, and we will be able to view it actually. So you just have to do very simple things like listen carefully to a colleague. It's not just hearing, listening, and then challenge the biased languages, behavior, and you have to be an advocate of inclusive policies, and thus every action will count.
Uh, Absolutely, I agree with what Neha just said, and I kind of relate to that also. And adding to the point, see that inclusion is not it's not a destination. It's an ongoing journey. It will go on and on. You have to continuously make that effort, you know. And so it requires this continuous reflection, improvement, because the days are changing, the generations are changing, people's opinions are changing. Okay, so we cannot stop at one kind of thinking. Okay, we have to behave in this certain kind of way. You need to continue put efforts and make changes in the way you think.
Yeah, apart from this, probably, not fearing to speak up. If each one starts speaking up their own little issue, their own little concern, and one side we are talking about, the others listening to one person, and if this person does not take the initiative of talking it out, so that would all go down the drain. So we must encourage people to speak up, when they face issues, and that's how it's going to happen. It's not going to happen overnight. So this is something, and I know we are doing a Women's Day podcast and for women, but I believe this is for everybody. So be it anybody, even the male employees or female employees, I feel it is great when people start speaking up. So this will bring about equality, and being this having the sense of being heard. Yeah. So
Thank you all for sharing your insights and experiences today. It's been a pleasure having you all on this podcast. And to you, our listeners, thank you for tuning in today into our Learning and Development podcast. And happy International Women's Day to all the women out there. Thank you.